Jack has now taken my job and he's in the weeds of running Clip. I've now transcended that a bit where I deal with no day-to-day in the weeds crap at Clipped.
It reminds me like Thomas the Train, and like behind it's like you're the next wagon and it's Jack. Dude, you do not want Thomas in the front of your train.
Another fun thing to look at right now is like all of our shorts average like 2-ish million views. But now it's kind of fun to be like, what if 2 million wasn't the best we could do? What does the 10 million average look like? Like a 10 million view short, I did one this month. What does it feel like to get shot? That short brought in like $1,800. How do we replicate that?
We're realizing now our shorts, if we did do sponsorships, could bring in a lot of money, and like one good sponsor could just fund the whole month. So I don't know. The YouTube side's exciting right now.
Welcome to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about smart nonsense. You shut your little mouth. You shut it right now.
Warm applause. The intro has been said. It's done. We're here. We're live. Where you going, Pop? Where you going? Welcome back. Really, it's been for us about a week. For you, it's been no time
because we're time traveling.
Oh, what you got there, Mangosito? Ugh,
Mangones,
you look like that. You look like that.
Chimp that
a chimp that's shoving a mango in its mouth and it's like wrapping its huge lips around it from all angles. We got to make sure to roll that. It's exactly what you look like.
Yeah. Well, I did say that. I look at myself in the mirror sometimes. Come out of the shower, I'm like, damn, dude, I'm a chimp.
Yeah.
Absolute chimp.
Broad chest. You kind of walk with your arms behind your body a little bit.
I walk on your toes too.
Yeah, you walk on your tippy toes. A lot of toe dexterity. They got thumbs on their feet. So.
Oh, yeah, I've never tried that before. See if I can climb with my feet.
Also,
I did.
Well, I was going to address an elephant in the room, but yeah, continue.
Well, we'll leave the elephant for a second. One of my last girlfriends, she had really good toe dexterity. Could pick anything up and throw it. Does anyone care about that? I did.
Well, that's one way that could have gone.
Oh, well, I mean,
yeah.
Use your imagination. What do you got? You got an elephant on your face?
Yeah, I got an elephant on my face. You were asking me, let me get real close for the folks back home. What did you think it was when we were just on the phone?
I thought you cut yourself shaving.
Oh, shaving, right. No, but I did shave because, and I hate shaving, but I had to shave because I went to the dermatologist this morning. And I went to the dermatologist because I had this growth on my face that I thought was an ingrown hair, but it had been there for 6 months. It was pissing me off. So I got it removed. I don't like having foreign bodies in my body, so they cut it right out of me. It's a little baby cyst.
What do you say?
And, sutured it up.
No penetrative
right now? Right now.
You got
Didn't you have
consent for foreign bodies in your body?
No, that's not what that was. But that's fine because I know what you're talking about.
I thought I had sip cancer. We have a friend. He's Cypriot, and he went to a Cypriot hospital because he got an X-ray of his arm or hand, and they thought he had like a foot-long cancer that was just growing in him, and his whole family cried, thought he was dying.
Yeah, they're like, it's stage 4. Have the memorials. You've got a month left.
Right.
It's over, really, based on this
Right.
X-ray.
And then he comes back to the States, and they're like, dude, you're fine. There's nothing. That's just like a little fucking
nodule, a fibroid. Actually, I think it was cartilage or something. Like nothing.
Right. And so I have this thing in my arm. Actually, I didn't even know I had it, but like someone was just touching my arm and like, what the fuck is this? Big lump right in my left forearm. You can actually see it protruding if you're hanging out with me on a couch. And so I went and thought I had sip cancer, got my x-rays. It's just a big, like, I guess a cyst. Is that what it's called? That's what you had?
Shoot, I think it starts with a B.
I don't know.
It's not a hematoma. It's yeah, you could probably get it cut out of you if you wanted to. I don't like foreign bodies.
But here's the thing, dude. I've been reading a lot of Taleb, and he's like, hey, if you're not dying, don't die.
Don't go
to the hospital. They open it up. something else gets in there, more foreign bodies. I got skin. Nothing else is getting in there. I don't know how that got in there, but nothing else.
That is absolutely true. I guess on the spectrum of risk reward, I'd rather not have the foreign body than the infection, but it could, yeah.
Sorry.
What's the matter?
Sorry. This is the first day in the last week where I haven't felt like just a giant puffball.
Oh, roll the pics, dude.
Do we have pics?
Well, you did a breakdown on Twitter that looked god awful. Dude, I didn't like talk to you all day. I didn't talk to you all day. We were busy doing stuff independent playtime. And you just sent me like the link to a video breakdown you did on Twitter, which is like great because like I like to learn. First thumbnail image I see in text, dude. I mean, you looked horrible.
I know. I didn't know if it looked as bad as it felt because it felt horrible. It looked just as bad.
Your eyes were swollen shut. They got black circles around them.
I've had this dilemma on my hands where it just started getting into like spring, nice weather in New York City, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm a spring goose. I want to get out there and play in the grass, play in the water, see what's going on. And so I go out there, but for the trees, it's breeding season. So they're all just trying to dump their pollen all over my face. And I eat it up, dude.
Well, I didn't know you were so allergic.
I didn't either.
This is the first year?
It hasn't been like this. I don't know. The last time, high school. I might start getting bloody noses again. Who knows at this rate? Call back, dude. Listen to the pod.
God, I haven't had one since, really. Huh.
Yeah. Oh, I started getting a couple bloody noses again the other day, and I freaked out, dude. I'm like, not again.
You gotta go.
It was literally, I was on my way out the door, dude. Maybe.
You're way out the door and just faucet all over yourself?
It was like a date or something, and I'm bleeding all over myself, and I'm like, I don't want to go out. Oh, dude, more pod fod.
Bring it up. Air it out. There's something special about the Friday afternoon pods for many reasons. You get out of the business trough. You get juiced up for weekend plans.
Well, last Friday was the lowest of the low. I was with the
Is it last Friday? Yeah, it's like the last Friday 2 weeks, honestly.
We didn't shoot a pod because we had to shoot breakdowns, which is like, here's our clipped university course on how to be a great creator. I was like, dude, this is the last straw. I'm going to shoot these, and I'm out of the business. We had some lows. I came out of it, and I'm like, for some reason, it's like the most depressed I'd been in a while. I was just like, dude, I would just want to wrap myself up in my room, not talk to anybody. Problem was, I had someone that like canceled their whole plans for the day to like do something. And now I'm trying to be like not depressed, and like it was just
not
Mr. Fod here. I don't really know.
No. Well, we talk about
it was just very difficult.
Me and Athena, like one of my strengths, but also issues is like I can compartmentalize things. So if we're in a trough in the business or doing clipped university, like whatever the hell it is, I can like take a breath for 5 minutes and still go on that date and be completely normal. No. The issue with that is I fucking bottle everything up and brush everything under the rug.
A lot of compartments.
Dude. Right.
Watch out.
But no, that's not something you can do, is compartmentalize.
It's the Japanese lady. Actually, I was listening to Daniel Tosh.
Her name is
Marie Kondo.
Marie Kondo. I saw her once in real life in Ojai. She lives there. Saw her with her 3 kids. Yeah. Also Donald Glover. Roll that. How am I going to remember all this B-roll I got to submit to this episode? That's not going to get edited in.
I just think about the people that listen to the pod. I'm like, guys, can you have a conversation that fucking stays on one track? Or even Reese, like our producer, is like, dude, what do I do with this?
Literally couldn't title these for 2 months because, and I don't blame him. Listening back, I'm like, I don't know what I would title that.
Yeah. Well,
We're
Daniel
hanging,
Tosh
baby.
he spends like $80,000 just to have like sub compartments in his drawers. Like he has like little felt lining things that like separated socks from his underwear and drawers.
80 grand,
drawers.
dude. You can do
To
that
do the
for
whole-
10
It's
dollars.
crazy. Yeah,
I have little plastic ones from the Container Store. What
I don't know either, but
they made it gold.
That's how it works.
Huh.
Point is, my life has no compartments. It's just one big tub, and dude,
Right.
whatever goes in, it's gonna contaminate everything. So, so she wasn't happy. Haven't talked since, but that's fine. That's fine.
So you went, you went, and you just had one big puddly compartment.
I
It
didn't
didn't go well. Oh, you didn't
What?
go. You canceled.
What
No,
happened was,
Yeah. Now, I'll give you a Taleb. Like, I also think you need the barbell, which is like the business can be absolutely terrible, but you can still go have fun with somebody outside of work. Because what was that thing you sent me? It was like, I think it was a TikTok, and the woman was like, she was doing a little skit, and she comes into the room and she's like, I'm depressed and I hate the world and like everything sucks. And then she flips characters and she's the therapist. And the therapist is like, did you eat something good today? She's like, no.
Nah.
She's like, did you sleep 8 hours last night? She's like, no. She's like, did you hang out with people you like? She's like, no. And she like goes through like 8 of those, like super normal things. Point being, like, you should have gone and had a good time.
Well, it wasn't really my choice. What happened was I had been putting off like planning anything.
Cleaning your bank.
Well,
No. Oh,
no.
I have separate pod.
I wasn't expecting that. I hadn't planned anything, and it was like 5 p.m. And she's like, "Yo, what are we gonna do?" And I'm like, "I don't know, just in a trough right now. Let me just get some fresh air, and we'll regroup." And she's like, "I don't really like the lukewarm feelings right now. I'm gonna go make different plans." And I'm like, "Well,
gotta compartmentalize. That's the lesson here.
that's what happened there."
Fake it till you
And
make
then,
it.
yeah. Well, here we
Hey.
are, dude.
Here
we are. We get to
that's
the
another
trough.
principle. That's another principle, which is just you got to let bygones be bygones. Bummer, dude. Bummer.
No.
But I'm
Nice.
coming out of the trough. I'm coming out of the trough because, you know, like every peak, there's a trough, and with every trough comes a peak. That's part of the thing. Because it's funny now listening back to, we're actually the podcast episodes that are coming out right now for us are the ones from the fall that were the absolute darkest ever. You literally shut them down after like 10 minutes because there were no words. And listening to those, I was just reminded, like, I think I said it in one of the pods, but like, this too shall pass. Shit passes every time. You got to take the long view on the trough and just be like, it's a phase. It's a chapter. Like, it's going to be a couple days. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and this too shall pass. And it always does.
Yeah, my
This
instinct
whole-
is just
This whole week, I felt I was kind of sick. I had diarrhea, so that wasn't helping. But then, like, everything was still going
And
wrong. We were
cyst.
in the trough. But then today, it's like Jack's telling me great things that are happening business-wise that are going to put us in a really good position. Big deal with CeraVe closes. That's moving along. We have a great kind of session with Michael Girdley that we were tentative about, but like that's going to be good, and he's going to be good. Gonna be good. And like that's going to promote Clipped. So it's like 4 straight days of trough, but then one day of like, okay, things are turning a corner, and you're fine.
I mean, I never get to the point of like want to do anything about it. It's just like, hey, I'm just gonna bottle up for a little bit. I'll be good in like a day or two. Just let me just curl up in my bed and sleep, and then
part of
do
it,
that.
yeah, part of it too is like chronic burnout. That's kind of what I had last week. It's like we're
what I
doing a
think
bunch
it
of
was.
stuff, but not getting any dopamine from it. And your tendency, and actually what I was doing a lot of last week was like, I'm just gonna leave work early and like just gonna go do other, like I was gonna go work out, watch YouTube videos, like do other stuff. Just
Right.
like,
Well,
like-
I was like burned out, and it's like now I got a homework assignment of like how you gotta like gotta like set up an evening, and like I didn't want to do things. So point is, out of it. This too shall pass, I guess. And I'm excited, dude. I'm excited because I see the future. We got basically Jack, who we'll get on the podcast at some point. He's running the
Have
short
to.
term, keep Clipped alive, got to keep funding this whole smart nonsense beast. Then you're sort of on the medium term of like,
and he's actually, for the first time in 3 years, he's gotten us very close to what is actually default alive.
Right.
If you looked at the business when we were running it over the last 3 years, yes, we were growing this massive audience. However, like the business on a graph would just be down and to the right. Like we were just going into debt. We weren't really climbing out of it, like just
Right.
digging a deeper hole. Um,
well,
Jack
I was
actually
just,
cleaned that up. The business is pretty much default alive, and you, me, and him are getting paid by a big agency deal we're doing. And so, like, that's a
yeah.
much better and not to mention, like, they're fixing all of our onboarding and churn issues and like stuff like that. So, like, the foundation is being set so much better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to count chickens,
Jinx it.
but it helps when there's like a big influx of stuff at once. But, what was I
Continue
gonna
your point though about seeing the future.
Well,
So Jack's got the short term.
I had something that I wanted,
Nah.
but it's gone. You're in the medium term, just like kind of bridging,
Working
I
on a
guess, clipped
big.
and smart nonsense. And I'm working on smart nonsense. I don't know. We're like roughly where we should be. Ideally, I want to hang out with you and like
Well,
shoot the
what
shit
it
all the time.
is so Jack has now taken my job and he's in the weeds of running Clipped, basically operating it all day and working with that core team. I've now transcended that a bit where I deal with no day-to-day in the weeds crap at Clipped, but I'm above the clouds pretty much. I'm leading like a big partnership with Michael Girdley, and I spend half my time doing my content. And you are even one step transcended, which should be just like pure smart nonsense audience guy.
It reminds me of, like, Thomas the Train, and like behind it's like you're the next wagon, then it's Jack. But like, dude, you do not want Thomas in the front of your train. But that's who's there. But I'm really excited about, we have Reese, the writer, and basically my goal is like, if we can take what we do with the newsletter, which he writes, he works with the illustrators, it just gets put out. Do that with our shorts, so we literally just show up to camera, talk, and then bing bang boom, it's out.
Well, then,
Yeah.
so we were writing
right-
newsletters and we were writing
Cool,
shorts. We hire the person
Strictly.
to handle newsletter. So we now kind of take a step up to just focusing on shorts, the higher leverage thing. Now it's like, okay, how do you stair step him up to shorts so we can move up to medium format and long format YouTube, which is where a lot of the money is, a lot of the audience building is. That's where like long-term YouTube is. And so it's like these just slow, patient step ups of leverage.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also really want to crack. I think we have this
Mitch McConnell?
mismatch. Mitch McConnell. We have Mitch McConnell. We have a mismatch between the quantity that we can make of like shorts content and the quantity of like the quantity of like scripts we can write and videos we can edit. Like, it takes a lot longer to edit than to write right now. So in my head, I'm trying to figure out how do we like square that mismatch. So I'm curious about, like, right now our shorts take a week. How do we get that down to a day? Potentially just to experiment. Because like we keep sending around this Columbus hook intro, which is like, it's not our best animations, but it's just like so well crafted that I think it hits. And like a lot of our best shorts aren't necessarily the best editing. It's just like the story just hits, so it works. I want to crack that.
In addition, I think another fun thing to look at right now is like all of our shorts average like 2-ish million views.
Well, watch out, dude. I gotta warm mine back up. I'm fighting for thousands.
Yeah, you're posting again, which is sick. But now it's kind of fun to be like, wait, what if it's kind of like, let's do a thought experiment. Like, what if 2 million wasn't the best we could do? What does the 10 million average look like? What does, instead of editing one short for 5 days, what does the 1 day edit look like? How many views does that get us? Like, it's kind of a fun little puzzle to say, if we constrain this over there, what happens? And like on the 1 million to 10 million views, it's interesting because like a 10 million view short, I did one this month. What does it feel like to get shot? That short got 15 million views in 2 or 3 weeks. That's never happened for us before. That short brought in like 1,800 If we did that 15 times in a month, say, like that's a huge monetization driver for us. We now no longer need to think about ad stuff, brand stuff, whatever. So it's like, oh, what if our average short was just that? How do we
Right.
replicate that?
Yeah,
Actually, the
and
one I
that
just put out was trying to kind of mimic the hook. I did your
it
brain
was
on
very
coffee.
unoptimized too, where we're getting feedback from our other friend who's like a master of hooks because he didn't have great editing. He was like purely going off scripts for his channel, and he was getting 1 billion views a month. Granted, he's putting out a lot more videos, but like, he just studied it. So he was like breaking down. He's like, dude, you could take out this whole chunk, and retention is going to be higher. This thing's could be a 50 million view video. So there's just like so much we can play around with, but we haven't been able to because we're too in the weeds. But you get someone writing the scripts, and now it turns into like you're coaching the person, and you're like, you can just spend a lot more time on the hooks, on perfecting all this stuff, on the constraints for the editing, which we just like hey, it's good enough, so we don't have to touch it. And now it's like, all right, we want to take good enough to great, and that's like the fun part for me. There's still a lot of potential, especially if we start making money. Like we're realizing now, our shorts, if we did do sponsorships, could bring in a lot of money, and like one good sponsor could just fund the whole month. So I don't know. The YouTube side's exciting right now, and I'm excited when you get into that realm with me.
What are you doing this weekend?
Well, wait, what am I? Oh, I'm seeing Dune 2.
Oh, that's still in theaters, huh?
Dude,
nice.
okay, let me just get this off
goo.
my chest.
Yeah, just
Goo. Well, I don't know if it's goo. It's like content.
get it off.
I'm realizing I got to turn off my brain, be a robot, because if not, I turn into Bernoulli. And well, here's the thing. I was trying to write a short yesterday to get back in it. You know, I'm gonna start coaching, so might as well figure out what I'm doing. And like, actually, I was trying to do medium form, and
which is like an 8-minute
immediately
thing. We call medium.
I wanted to do a video on what is fire, kind of inspired by this Feynman thing of like, oh, fire is actually fucking sunlight. Like, what is fire? Whole thing. But
sun atoms come into wood, get trapped. He does that whole thing.
Yeah, and then you light fire
releasing
and
them.
like the light coming out is the sunlight from 30 years ago. So I wanted to explain that whole process, how it works. But then like in the process, I'm like, wait, so in photosynthesis, the photon is breaking the hydrogen from the oxygen.
Too far already. You're
and I'm
too
like,
far already.
What's breaking what? How's this actually working? And then I started getting into quantum physics, and I just started going down. Dude, I don't know where I was, but somehow I was looking at Bernoulli's equations trying to figure out what was what.
It's wow. Because the inverse, which is like me, is like I could take one line of whatever Feynman was saying about the photons
Fire.
getting trapped in a tree in wood and becoming fire, and just fluff it up. You just fluff it up, and it doesn't have to be completely true. Like we say, it's just like, what's the story? How would you explain this to a buddy? You can't, your buddy's not Bernoulli, Pop.
Dude,
you guys are not buddies.
He could be though. He could be. His equations were sick.
Oh, did you get the short done?
No, that's the problem.
He's not your buddy.
It's kind of like the tortured artist. I basically.
Yeah, you need a shot clock. You need deadlines.
I need to show up, and this is the script that you're gonna read, and you're just an actor. You're not a researcher. You're an actor. My problem is like right now it's a finite resource, and we're like, hey, we can only really make like 20 shorts a month. So like, I want those 20 to be the best things possible. But we can't. It's either we hire a bunch more people or we just get more effective with our current editing team. So I want to crack that and then just show up to camera and just rip. And then like maybe I go deep once in a while. I don't know, dude. I don't know what I do about that, but that's the fun part to me.
It's the Tim Urban gene. It's the Tim Urban gene. He'll be like, I was trying to write something. He'll tweet like, I was trying to write something about photons, but this happened. And then it's just a picture of his search history, which is like, how much can a chimp lift? How fast does a dolphin swim? Like, and it's just like 20 of these ridiculous questions he procrastinates with.
Yeah.
Figure it out, Pop.
You want one goo? I'm trying to find something.
Yeah.
That's not really goo. Well,
Anything.
I said, do you want one goo? And I don't have goo. What am I doing this weekend? I got Sean. Do we want to talk shit about Sean?
No,
Or
that's not goo.
Okay.
That's not goo at all.
Um,
Let me see if I got goo for once. I'm not a very gooey guy, you know.
you got compartments.
Like I got Mark Rober, Hackbox. Like that doesn't. Colin and Samir. That's an interesting one, but no.
Maybe one of these days, Coy just cuts the podcast whenever we come into one of these ruts. Like, well, can't.
And on a low.